Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Alpine, Red Bull, McLaren, Sauber, Racing Bulls, Haas, and Williams. What you're about to see isn't just a collection of team photos. It's a deep dive into the 10 powerhouses that have sculpted Formula One into the thrilling spectacle it is today. Prepare to uncover the surprising truths behind the biggest names in Formula One, from their hidden histories to the quirks that make them unforgettable. As I believe explaining F1 is my specialty, I'll guide you through each team's history, characteristics, and some fascinating, perhaps lesser-known details. I've thoroughly researched to ensure this video is as accurate as possible, considering the latest developments like Sauber's transformation into Audi and Alpine's potential challenges. If you're a new fan, I hope this helps you choose a team to rally behind. For veteran enthusiasts, I know you're here for entertainment and to hear my take on your favorite teams, but perhaps you'll also discover some new facts. So, let the journey begin. Ferrari, the iconic Scuderia, often seen as the dramatic heart of Formula One. Many might brand them as the sport's strategical missteps, the team prone to baffling errors, like choosing hard tires on a notoriously slippery track. Yet, despite these moments, Ferrari remains a colossal force in Formula One. It is the biggest team in the sport, the most successful, boasts the largest global fan base. Indeed, everyone is a Ferrari fan at heart, and possesses an incredibly proud history. From Michael Schumacher's 5 championship victories to Charles Leclerc's memorable wins at Monza, Ferrari truly embodies the spirit of Formula One. The sport even pays them up to $50 million annually just for their presence, and for good reason. Without them, a significant portion of F1 fans would likely lose interest. In recent times, however, Ferrari has also become something of a meme, known for experiencing the highest highs and the lowest lows, sometimes within the same race weekend. Charles Leclerc might win a Grand Prix, only for some unforeseen calamity to strike the Ferrari headquarters in Maranello shortly after. This leads to extreme emotional swings for the average Ferrari fan. One week they're celebrating ecstatically, the next they're in despair. Ferrari is also, in a way, a team that brings drivers to the brink of glory without quite reaching it. Many of their drivers have come agonizingly close to winning a championship, only for some bizarre turn of events, which seems to happen exclusively to Ferrari, to snatch it away, often leaving them scarred or humorously balding. Haas are often seen as the underdogs of F1, one of the sport's most underrated teams, and supporting them is incredibly rewarding. Following Haas is akin to rooting for a struggling friend with immense potential. When you see them perform poorly, it's disappointing, but when they make progress, you feel an immense sense of pride. For instance, when Romain Grosjean secured a 4th-place finish in a race, for a Red Bull fan it might just be an average Tuesday, but for a Haas fan it felt like winning an all-expenses-paid 2-week vacation to Tahiti. However, progress for Haas is often hard. 1. Expect them to be at the back of the grid or in the midfield about half the time. They are also the youngest team, having joined F1 in 2016. As an American racing team owned by Gene Haas, they frequently contend with funding challenges, which only makes their strong results all the more exceptional. Speaking of teams that achieve more with less, we turn to Aston Martin. This team has a complex lineage, starting as Jordan, then becoming Force India. Following the arrest of the team owner for debt evasion, it transformed into Racing Point and is now Aston Martin. F1 teams can, of course, change sponsors or owners, hence these name evolutions. What was particularly admirable about this team, especially during its Racing Point days, was its ability to overperform despite limited resources. They often lacked top-tier personnel or funding, but still managed to compete against leading teams, notably in 2020. This was highly impressive, although they were fined for allegedly copying Mercedes' car design. The team has since undergone a dramatic transformation, largely thanks to billionaire Lawrence Stroll's funding. He has invested heavily, seemingly to provide his son Lance with the most competitive car possible. As a result, Aston Martin is now flush with resource and has attracted top personnel from other teams. Yet, one perceived weakness of Aston Martin is its fan identity. While there are many fans of specific drivers like Fernando Alonso and previously Sebastian Vettel, a distinct Aston Martin fan base, separate from individual driver loyalties, is less apparent. Lance Stroll's position, given his father's ownership, is often seen as a factor in this, and his perceived self-confidence is a frequent topic of discussion. I often mention in my previous videos that Red Bull can be an intense and challenging team environment, and while that is certainly true, they are also incredibly successful. Despite joining in 2005, they have achieved remarkable feats. From Sebastian Vettel's era of dominance in the 2010s to Max Verstappen's consecutive championship wins in 2022 and 2023. What these two eras shared was a certain level of internal instability within Red Bull, which is a defining trait of the team. If you're unaware, the team operates with a complex power dynamic system, with various influences across different sectors contributing to this instability. You can pause to examine how this intricate system functions. The most unique aspect is that this internal tension paradoxically seems to make them faster. Unlike Ferrari, which experiences separate highs and lows, Red Bull often has highs and lows simultaneously. Intriguingly, the more unstable they appear, the more successful they become. It might sound confusing, but consider it this way. The more internal pressure Red Bull experiences, the more it pushes them to succeed. However, the team is like a boiling pot. It functions optimally at the right temperature, but if the pressure becomes too intense, things can spectacularly unravel, leading to public controversies and internal turmoil. Red Bull excels under pressure, but excessive pressure can lead to dramatic and publicly exposed situations. As of this recording, Red Bull continues to navigate periods of significant internal challenges. Alpine is a French team, also known by its previous name Renault, a prominent French car manufacturer. They have a long history in F marked by incredible highs, such as winning championship titles in 2005 and 2006. However, their journey also includes controversial moments, like the 2008 Crashgate scandal, where Renault was implicated in intentionally crashing a car to influence a race outcome. There have also been humorous, if financially precarious, periods, such as when the team, then Lotus, nearly went bankrupt due to Kimi Raikkonen's contract, which reportedly stipulated a payment of $50,000 for every point scored, and he amassed 390 points. Alpine is a team that has experienced a significant decline from its past glory. Once top contenders, they have fallen off due to messy management. Despite receiving funding from numerous celebrities including Ryan Reynolds, which even led to a Deadpool-themed car. Currently, Alpine is a midfield team, performing neither exceptionally well nor poorly, mostly hovering in the middle. However, there are concerns about a potential further decline if internal issues persist, and even questions about their long-term existence in the coming years. McLaren is a team that resonates particularly well with the younger demographic of F1 fans. They boast a history as rich as Ferrari's, which is why they also receive a heritage bonus of $30 million annually. The team has endured its fair share of ups and downs. For instance, my own experience supporting them in 2016 during Fernando Alonso's tenure was incredibly challenging. He famously remarked about the lack of power, saying, "How the hell can they overtake me 300 meters behind me at the beginning of the straight? I never raced with less power in my life." That period was, to be frank, the worst experience of my life as a fan. However, the team has transformed drastically over the years. They once catered more to veteran fans, they are now much more aligned with younger audiences. They affectionately call their fanbase the Papaya Army. Both their drivers are exceptionally young, and their social media team is highly active and adept at keeping up with current trends, with Aston Martin following closely. McLaren is generally a light-hearted team, radiating positive vibes, making it an ideal choice if you're in your mid-20s or still in high school. Yet they are not immune to drama. This team seems to always find itself embroiled in some form of controversy. Sauber, currently known as Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber, is another significant team in Formula One. Many, especially in recent years, have dismissed this team as a joke, and their performance hasn't always disproven that perception. They've struggled to score points, are sponsored by a gambling company, and have been associated with a streaming site known for generating chaotic content. However, the team's recent performance doesn't fully reflect Sauber's rich history. This Swiss motorsport engineering company entered F1 in 1993 and provided the platform for the iconic debuts of drivers like Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. Unfortunately, the team has never won a championship and holds what is arguably the most challenging record in terms of results. Despite this, is renowned as a proving ground where drivers can showcase their talents before moving on to more competitive teams. Since 2023, they have often found themselves at the very back of the grid, frequently in 19th and 20th positions, earning them the nickname the Tractors. Thankfully, Audi is set to take over the team in 2026, bringing new hope and resources to turn their fortunes around. Mercedes, a team backed by a renowned car manufacturer, has an extensive and fascinating history in F1. Mercedes officially joined F1 in 1954, but withdrew a year later, only returning as a factory team in 2010. Before their re-entry, the team was famously known as Brawn GP, an F1 outfit acquired for a symbolic single British pound, which astonishingly achieved a 100% win rate. This might sound unbelievable, but a quick search could confirm these incredible facts. After Mercedes took over Brawn GP, the team achieved unparalleled success. Michael Schumacher made his return to the sport with them. They consistently produced some of the fastest cars on the grid, and Lewis Hamilton went on to win multiple championships. But perhaps the most remarkable feat was Nico Rosberg outscoring Michael Schumacher and then beating Lewis Hamilton in 2016. Mercedes was the team where we witnessed a driver defeat two seven-time world champions, both in equal machinery, while also being a Monaco-based YouTuber, before famously retiring at the peak of his career, a truly bold move. Mercedes is an exceptionally efficient team, led by a principal who is both highly calculated and deeply emotional. A significant part of the team's identity has long been intertwined with Lewis Hamilton. But with his departure to Ferrari, Mercedes now faces an identity crisis, much like Aston Martin. Racing Bulls is essentially Red Bull's junior team, their sequel. Most recently known as Visa Cash App RB, many fans also recognize them by their previous names, Toro Rosso, Minardi, or AlphaTauri. As Red Bull's slower junior team, they are under significant control from the senior outfit. Red Bull dictates which drivers are hired, fired, or promoted to the main team, with these crucial decisions often made by Helmut Marko, Red Bull's chief talent scout. Marko has brought numerous promising talents into the team, including Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Nick de Vries, Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Sebastian Vettel, and Daniil Kvyat. The sheer number of drivers highlights the team's incredibly demanding nature. If drivers perform well, they ascend to the senior team. If they don't, they might be demoted back to the junior program or face an exit from the Red Bull system entirely. Finally, we have Williams, another prime example of a team that has fallen from grace. They have been a massive part of Formula One's history, one of the sport's most successful teams, featuring iconic drivers like Alain Prost, Nelson Piquet, and Ayrton Senna. Their historical records are so impressive that looking at the team today often prompts the question, what on earth happened? The core issue is funding. Unlike Ferrari, Mercedes, or Renault, which are car manufacturers with vast resources, Williams, Haas, and Sauber are pure racing teams. This makes financial sustainability incredibly challenging for them, even with Williams receiving a $10 million heritage funding payment from F1. This persistent lack of money has resulted in a series of setbacks, leaving the team at a low point. However, what remains admirable about Williams is their unwavering commitment to improvement. They are a team on a determined journey to reclaim their former glory, and with a well-spoken team principle, motivated employees, and dedicated drivers, it's impossible not to root for their success. I hope this video has answered all your questions if you're new to F1, or provided an enjoyable recap for longtime fans. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Formula One's incredible teams.